Hello everyone, tonight for your viewing pleasure I am doing the Creatures of the Night book tag. This tag was created by Kat from Cattytastic, and pretty much it's a simple one. There are 10 creatures and I'm going to tell you which book that they are in that is my favorite. And for mine, I did a series for each of them. I watched a lot of Creature of the Night videos while making mine. I decided to do mine just a little bit differently than any of the ones I watched. A few people dressed up in costume, but I didn't see anyone else who was ambitious enough, who overthought it so much, as to do a different costume for each creature. So without any further ado, here's the video. I hope you enjoy it. I love vampires. I had a lot of different books to choose from for this series. I thought briefly about doing the Marked series because I actually have been where most of the events in that series happen. I lived in the Tulsa area for a good 8 years, but it's not my favorite vampire series. The book series that I actually chose for vampires is the Anita Blake series by Laurel K. Hamilton. It is an adult series with the books including sex with the vampires and werewolves after book 7, but it is a fantastic series that I greatly like, and the vampires are not necessarily good creatures. Some of them are, but most of them are evil. So for werewolves, I picked one of the book series that I've read multiple times. And the first book in the series was the first book that I read for this year. It was the first book I read after starting this channel. This is one of my most favorite authors. I have read, I think, all of her work that she's put out except for her newest book. The werewolves I decided to go with are the ones from the Mercy Thompson and Alpha and Omega series. First book in the series is Mooncalled. And basically, the world that this takes place in is ours. And the Fae and the werewolves and everyone decided that it was time that the world know about them on their terms, because technology is getting so good that eventually we would have noticed that they're there. I have not read too many books with zombies. I do have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies somewhere. I did not actually get through reading it. The book that I actually chose is the first book of the Chronicles of Nick, Infinity by Sherilyn Kenyon. Sherilyn Kenyon is one of my favorite authors. The Chronicles of Nick is the young adult novels that she writes. They go along with her adult series. There are, I think, 7 books right now to the Chronicles of Nick. The first book is based kind of around zombies. Not the kind that died and came back to life craving human flesh. They have a different kind of background story to how they came to be, and they are actually fixable. For Ghost, I chose The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. It is book 1 in the Lockwood and Company series, and in this world, an event has happened that caused ghosts to start existing and being able to see, but only children are able to see them. And of course, not all of the ghosts are nice, pleasant, harmless ones. Most of them are very dangerous and will kill you if you have the chance. So, companies have formed with mostly adults doing the managing, but the children are the ones who actually go into the house and get rid of the ghosts. And they stumble upon to something that is dangerous even more than just the ghost aspect. The obvious choice for everyone is Harry Potter. It was not actually my first choice for this series. My choice is the Dark Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. The world that she creates in this series is the most beautiful world that I have ever read. They are absolutely fantastic, and they are not happy in any way. They are very dark and twisted, but the way that she set up the caste system, that it depends not only just on how powerful you are, it also depends on what your status is, if you're a queen, if you're a priestess, if you're a prince, if you're a warlord prince, and all of it interweaves together, and it is just absolutely gorgeous and one of my favorite series of all times. It is a very, very mature reading level because of the events that happen in the series, but I have read it multiple times. I'm rereading it now, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. The first book that she wrote is Daughter of the Blood, and it is the first book in the trilogy, which turned into this great fantastic series. Chronologically wise, though, the first book in the series would be The Invisible Ring. The book that I chose for this creature of the night is a little bit different than the traditional sense. They're not necessarily evil creatures. They can be, but most of them are fairly nice, and they want absolutely nothing to do with humans. I am talking about the fairies that are in the series of Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer. I got into Artemis Fowl because of my aunt. She brought this book, this exact copy, to me one time when she came to visit, and I read it and I loved it. It is one of the worlds that my friend and I enjoy the most, and we actually did learn this language that's at the front of it, the Gnomish. We used to pass notes when we were in classes to each other written in this language. In this series, the main character is Artemis Fowl. This book, he is a 12-year-old criminal mastermind. He is quite literally a genius. He is old enough and smart enough to go through with some childish belief that fairies exist, and he uses this information to find them and steal a lot of money from them. For this creature, I chose the series The Bartimaeus Trilogy by Jonathan Stroud. I picked these books up when I was in late middle or high school, and I've read them over several times since. I only recently finished out buying the trilogy on my birthday back in August. The demons in this series, it's more of a slang term than actually being demons possessed from hell type thing. It's just one of the names that the magicians in the series use to classify their non-human magical servants. And I have to say that Bartimaeus, the main demon in the series, is one of my most favorite characters of all time. Like Cat from Cattastic, I chose Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I haven't read too much with angels. I would love to read more. I did read this one because Cattastic gave it such high praise, and I enjoyed it immensely, and I can't wait to buy it. And for this, I picked the same that Cattastic did, Animorphs. It was one of the very few series that my sister and I both agreed on enjoying, and we talked about it a lot, and there were a lot of books in the library for me to read. I had not actually read every single book in the series. I did look up spoilers online to find out how it ended, and I'm just going to pretend that it didn't end that way. For this creature, I decided to use Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This book I read earlier during the year, during the Booktubeathon, and I actually enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to, and when it was over, I wanted to just read more. Unfortunately, the second book had not come out yet. This is a kind of futuristic world from ours where something happened and people got superpowers. Not all of them, just a few of them. These superpowered humans are called epics, and not all of them, of course, are good. Alright, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!